All right. I am in a coffee shop and we're going to make this thing happen. Okay. I don't know what you're seeing on the back end, but we're going to figure this out. Let's lower this down. It's like they had Halloween stuff still going. If you could hear me, put a thumbs up in the chat. Super, super excited here. Nathaniel here from the Real Estate Deal Lab. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our weekly live. Today we're going to discuss a few quick strategies that you can do in real estate so you can have the general idea on different exit strategies. All right, I'm Nathaniel, been doing real estate for a decade now. Everything from fix and flip, new construction, wholesaling, subject to buying and holding real estate. All of these things has taught me a myriad of different exit strategies, and we're going to go over a few of them that I feel like it's easy for you to do once you have, number one, the right team, the right network, and the right knowledge. So everything that we're doing is knowledge-based, okay? And I'm always going to be talking about exit strategies because every now and again, right, you may get a deal, but you might not know how to create income out of it, right? So we're going to talk about wholesaling. All right, wholesaling is really, really good. Really, really, really good. Low money to get in, okay, and high returns. However, you're going to have to call, you're going to have to make those contacts, right? And you need a good list in order to do that. All right, so what's a list? A list is anybody that's going through distress, whether they're losing a home or whether they want to sell fast for cash, or whether they need to get rid of the home, but because they inherited it. Okay, so there's plenty of different reasons why somebody needs to get rid of a property fast, and you need to know how you can structure a deal in order to make it profitable. Okay, so the first step really is, again, you want to go and find the property, find the person, right? Either the person or the property. Those are the two main things, right? Two main things: find the person or the property. Now, how do you find the property, you're asking, right? You find the property by going and driving around looking for houses, right, that look like they're beat up, look like they're abandoned, look like they need extra TLC. Those are the main things that you need to look for, right? And then, number two, you're talking to people that know of somebody or know of a house that's in distress, okay? So once you talk to those people or you drive around and find those houses, now we have an opportunity that you can make some money. All right. And how do you do that? Well, you do that by getting in touch with the owner. Right. Real Estate Deal Lab, we have a lot of different avenues on how you get in touch with the owner. But you will hear this term called skip trace. What is skip tracing? Skip tracing is when you look for the person, whether you call them, you look up them online, in Facebook, whatever it is, you're trying to get their information and get their contact so you can call them, talk to them, right? So you can see, hey, what's going on with the property? Saw this, you know, are you trying to get rid of it? What's going on, right? All right, so you locate the property. Now you're talking to the owner, right, to make sure that they are the perfect fit, right? Don't just go into these things just for a transaction. Because sometimes these transactions, they don't work, okay? Because you and the seller has to build that rapport. That's why there's always this conversation, building rapport. You'll hear me talk about it. Have to talk to the people, right? And we can help you with that, of course, okay? So that is two of the greatest things. You find the property, you find the person, right? Now let's create the deal, okay? So first things first, you found the person that's in distress, you found the property that's in distress. Now you need to get a payoff number, okay? So that means that you need to find out how much this person actually owes on this property. Sometimes you might be lucky and they don't own anything on the property. Very easy to do that deal, all right? So if they owe nothing on the property, Now you have to say, okay, um, what number do you really want for this property? Now, this is the clean and clear one that we're going to go through. Case study number one. They don't owe anything on the property. They might have inherited it, or they have the property and they just have not done anything to it. So now you need to get this property up under contract, right? That means that you have one of the real estate deal lab contracts that we have in our group, right? And basically, that contract is going to let you know that you can assign to an end buyer, right? But you need to make sure that the price is right. How do you make sure that the price is right? Well, you have to know A, how much they owe on that property, and B, how much it could sell for, right? C, also the repairs. So sometimes you can wholesale and do all of that without actually going to the property, but I say go to the property first so you can get that understanding of what it is that you're looking at. You building your credibility, not only with the seller, but also with the end buyers who are investors like me, all right? And like you are, okay? So you're building that credibility, building that muscle, going to the property, taking a look. And if you don't have anybody that can go to the property, well, again, the real estate deal lab community, we have people that could do that, right? And have that time. That's why there's a network here. You want to be able to network and be like, hey, listen, I'm working all day. Can you go take a look at that property? And a friend of yours in the group can go look at the property, right? Again, it's working together. Okay, let's hop back in. I gotta keep myself back on track again. But you go to the property, find out the repairs. We have the repair sheet in the group as well. You get the repair sheet, you go through line by line all things that need to make it the property that can be sold on the open market. Okay. So again, you want to make sure that you have that in your mind that you're trying to get, you know, assign this contract. So that means that the investor that buys it needs to have the right numbers. Okay. So say for instance the right number, the after repair value. So that means after the property is repaired is 275. Let's keep it even number, 275. But the person that has the property, they wanted 175, right? But the repairs are also considerable, right? It's going to cost more than 50,000 or whatever thousands to get that property right. Well, that's not going to be a deal, right? You need to make sure that you have it in mind that, hey, you are an investor, right? So that's how your mindset has to think. If you're going to make an offer on this property, it has to be a solid offer. That's why I always want you to come to the real estate deal lab. Let's analyze the deals and let's get it going, okay? Because that's where you become credible in the marketplace, right? When I go to a property and I look at the property and I say, okay, well, it's going to cost this, 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 this to get it right. I know those numbers, right? Because of those experiences that I've had. Okay. So if you have not a lot of experience in it, it's good to analyze them with one of us in real estate deal lab, of course. But you need to also go use that property sheet line by line and see how much materials are costing. See how much, a contractor will actually do the job for. See how much a roof would cost, right? Then you can come back to the seller and then give them hey, listen, I know you want 175, but it's going to take every bit of this price, 60,000, 70,000, whatever, to make it work. So actually the property is not good for me right now. Again, this is another conversation. It's not good for me right now, but if you want to sell it on the MLS, you might be able to do that if you sell it that way. Always prefer unrealistic numbers outside of you. Okay. You're not here to waste time. You're not here to waste the seller's time. You're not also here to be in a binding agreement that can't close. We're about making it close. All right. So make sure that you understand that. And that's how those numbers are. So we're going back to the seller. Say, hey, listen, this is how much it's really going to cost to repair it. It's not enough money for me. What can we do? All right. The seller, after you've already built that rapport and you told them, hey, listen, hey, for me, those numbers are not going to work. What can I do? What can we do to make this deal work so I can buy this property or we can make some money together? And then that's when you talk with the seller again. And sometimes they're really reasonable, right? Because they know that they are having a property that's sitting there, right? And it's costing them money too. All right. So remember that as a property sits vacant, it's costing somebody money, whether they pay property taxes and insurance on it, or they're cutting the grass. The average grass cut is $50, you know, every 2 weeks, or $100 or $120. That adds up with property taxes and insurance. So anywhere that you put it, they're gonna be spending thousands on the property. Okay. So now that's on you to re-examine. Hey, listen, this is what's really happening. I know you're spending that type of money. I really want to do this deal with you, and let's make this thing happen. All right. Again, remember I said wholesaling is very low barrier of entry as far as the money wise, but high returns. Okay. So we're going to go back. So that's why I want you to be always focused in on making the right deal, because those deals go like hotcakes. Right. I had a deal last week, and I went straight to one of my people and I said, hey, listen, this is what I got. Boom. All right, we're closing. That's it. In less than a week. All right. They got title work done real super fast. Right. And we're about to close. Right. This happens within days. Okay. If you have the right number. So the whole idea is to practice getting the right number. Right. Go and download the property repair sheet so you can have that number in mind. Okay. Give it a few moments for any questions or anything like that. Please tap in. If you can hear me perfectly, put a thumbs up. All right. And let's get right back into it. All right. All right. Perfect. So again, you get it under contract with the right number, building that rapport. The seller says, hey, listen, you know what? I might need to take a few thousand off. I see what you're telling me. And they take the money off, and then you say, okay, let me send you a contract. All right. You send the paperwork over, you get it signed, whether it's on digital signing or you go down to the person in person and sign it. All right. But again, you make sure your numbers are right and that this thing can close. The worst thing that you can do is have a property under contract and not have the right exit strategy. So when you have it under contract, definitely reach back to the real estate dealer community and say, hey, listen, I have this under contract, but I can't find any buyers. All right. I can't find anybody that wants to buy it. So again, there's ways to close it. Right. But each scenario is different. And that's why it pays to, again, have a plethora of different exit strategies. And we have plenty of them. So not to worry there. As long as you get that number right. Right. So that's your job, is to learn to get the numbers right. All right. Now that you got it under contract, you send that contract over to the title company, and always keep updating the seller. Okay. The worst thing that you could do, I had somebody that I was training, I told them, hey, listen, keep in touch with the seller. All right. Because that's how you keep the deals going. Right. Because somebody could be like, they could have drove by the same house too and say, hey, listen, what's going on with this one? Because they have a different kind of swagger or different kind of conversation, or they come in with the cash. Hey, I'm going to give this cap right now. Now you're out of the deal. All right. Now I can share with you how you can work on that as well. But you don't want it to be the first time you do it. So you'll try to move with precision. Try to always keep with the follow-up. Okay. So again, quickest turnaround time is wholesaling. That's one exit strategy that is beautiful. Okay. Get it to the title company. The title company runs for their title search and look at all the liens and all of the requirements that's needed for clear title. What is clear title? Clear title is meaning that somebody can get financing on their property without any mortgages or bills encumbering or clouding. Like, you have bills, you got one bill, you got a phone bill, boom. You got the, mortgage payment, boom. You have the liens on your title. All that's clouding your face, right? So the title company is here to insure title. So that means that none of this All of these numbers got to be added up, and they cannot exist after closing. Okay. So now, after that comes back, it takes about a week. After that comes back, you should have already found network of buyers to buy. Okay. That's why you join the Real Estate Deal Lab community, because we're sharing all of the buyers, and I'm a buyer. We have teams of buyers, teams of attorneys that are interested in buying properties, right? So again, we show you how to do it, how to find deals that you can close, right? So again, it's done quite simply, quite quickly, and there is no issues. Once it's free and clear, no issues. If it's not free and clear, there's equally no issues too, because as long as you get that number right and their mortgage is paid off, their liens are paid off, you're good. Okay. So again, it's healthy to learn these tactics, these skills, okay, in order to make a deal happen. You drive around looking for the property, you talk to people who might need to sell, or you talk to people in your network that have interest in selling or have somebody that they know is willing to sell. All right. And again, another strategy is getting on Zillow, looking on Zillow, and looking for things that says motivated seller. That's another way to find them. Okay. There's a lot of those sites. You go on them, find them. And I promise you'll get anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 a week if you found one deal. Okay. One deal. It just takes that courage, that time, that effort, and joining the community in order to leverage all of these resources to get it closed. Again, if you have not watched the Real Estate Deal Lab wholesaling and flipping courses, you need to definitely jump in, because I share a lot of that value there. Thank you so much for joining in, and I look forward to seeing you at the closing day. If there's any questions, definitely drop them in the chat below, and we'll talk soon. Again, Nathaniel here from the Real Estate Deal Lab. Talk to you soon.